What if I told you a team could play like a flawless 50 minutes of hockey, just completely suffocate their opponent, and then somehow throw the entire game away in exactly 25 seconds?
I mean, it sounds totally impossible for a championship caliber team.
Right.
But that is literally exactly what happened to the Vegas Golden Knights in Game 2 of the 2026 Stanley Cup Final.
Yeah, so welcome to this custom deep dive.
Yeah.
Today we are unpacking a really cool forensic hockey analysis by Martin Cibak. And our mission here is to figure out exactly how Vegas collapsed, how the Carolina Hurricanes tied the series 1-1 with that dramatic overtime win, and, well, what the data actually predicts for Game 3.
So to understand where this series is heading, we really have to look at how that masterpiece unraveled, because for 2.5 periods, Vegas just executed this perfect defensive trap.
Yeah, they kept Carolina completely to the outside.
Exactly. They blocked everything, and they held a super comfortable 2-goal lead, largely thanks to Brett Howden.
But then the third period hits, and Carolina just explodes for 3 goals in like 5 minutes.
It was wild.
And the whole catalyst is this disastrous decision by Vegas coach John Tortorella.
Oh, the coach's challenge.
Right. Vegas thought there was goalie interference on a Carolina goal, and Tortorella just threw the challenge flag.
Yeah, but the video review actually showed that Vegas's own player, Barbashev, was the one who pushed into the Carolina goal.
Oh.
And, you know, the penalty for a failed coach's challenge is an automatic delay of game.
There's a very specific kind of dread you feel when you watch someone gamble their rent money on a bluff.
Oh, absolutely.
And that is exactly what this was. I mean, it was an unnecessary, catastrophic risk right when the team should have been playing it safe.
Yeah, and it backfired instantly. Just 25 seconds into that penalty, Carolina's Jordan Staal scored on the power play.
Wow.
Now, Vegas's Mark Stone did manage to force overtime later on, but Seth Jarvis ultimately won it for Carolina.
So if I'm looking at the core gameplay here, the standard 5-on-5 play was just a total dead heat.
It really was.
Like the score was tied 3-3. The shots were perfectly tied at 26-26. Right. That tells me the 50 minutes of standard play didn't actually decide this game. It was won entirely in the margins.
Exactly. It came down to special teams and physical attrition. I mean, Carolina went 2 for 4 on the power play.
While Vegas went 0 for 4.
Right. Plus, Carolina nearly doubled Vegas's hit count. It was 46-25. And those hits aren't just for show. You know, they really compound over time.
Right, they wear you down.
Yeah. By the third period, Vegas's defense basically had dead legs. And dead legs lead to slow rotations, which then forces you to take desperate penalties.
Plus, that physical toll cost Vegas one of their top defensemen, right? Braden McNabb.
Yeah, he left with an injury.
Which forced Shea Theodore to play, 28.5 minutes? That is just an exhausting amount of ice time.
It is. And this actually brings up what the analysis calls the Andersen paradox.
The Andersen paradox.
Yeah, so Carolina's goalie, Frederik Andersen, actually had a pretty subpar night. He posted an 88.5% save percentage.
That's not great.
No, but Carolina still won. They didn't even need elite goaltending to pull this off, which shows they just have this terrifying extra gear.
Okay, so I'm looking at this data, and there's some real cognitive dissonance here for me.
How so?
Well, Carolina has all the physical momentum, right? They have this terrifying extra gear. Yet the forensic model gives Vegas a 56% edge to win Game 3 with a projected score of 3-2.
Yeah, I know it sounds super counterintuitive.
Walk me through that math.
So a lot of it really hinges on home ice advantage. This series goes back to Vegas, which means Tortorella gets the last line change.
Oh, right, because the away team has to put their players out first.
Exactly. So Vegas can see exactly who Carolina deploys, and they can send out the perfect counterattack to protect their stars, like Jack Eichel and Mitch Marner.
Okay, sure, that's a nice tactical edge. But the model also relies super heavily on mathematical regression.
Right. It assumes Carolina's power play cools down.
And that Vegas's goalie, Carter Hart, bounces back from his terrible Game 2 numbers to his usual playoff baseline.
I have to push back on this.
Go for it.
Do statistical models underestimate sheer human desperation? Like, isn't an angry veteran championship team returning home a much bigger factor than simply, mathematical regression?
Well, emotion definitely creates unpredictable spikes in a single period, absolutely.
Right.
But over a grueling 7-game series, the data basically tells us that the law of averages almost always collects its debts.
The law of averages.
Yeah, like over a large sample size, Carter Hart will revert to his baseline of saving over 92% of shots. And Carolina just won't continue to score on half of their power plays.
So for you listening and watching the rest of the series, remember that we are really looking at a knife-edge battle here.
Absolutely.
At 5-on-5, these two teams are practically clones of each other, which means the champion will likely be decided by special teams, injuries, and sheer fatigue. Basically, when the underlying structure is a tie, the winner is whoever best navigates all that chaos.
Which leaves us with a final question to ponder.
What's that?
Well, if two teams are statistically identical at full strength, does winning a championship ultimately come down to who plays better hockey? Or simply, who makes fewer emotional mistakes under pressure?